sound like you. You really want to lose weight for health reasons, for whatever reason, yet you already feel pressed for time. You already feel overwhelmed. And this just feels like one more thing to add to your to-do list. So if sounds anything like you, then continue listening because this is what we're going to talk about today. How to get some time into your life, how to manage time to make this easier so you can have both things. So my name is Christine Lasidra and I am a long-term weight loss coach. Okay, so finding the time for weight. The usual way in which we try to manage our time is we try to be more efficient with our time. We try to add more things to it. And this is something that I did most of my life. There were so many things that I wanted to do in life. There were so many things that I felt I needed to do. And the way I managed this was just trying to do more and more. And I might try to do more and more by being super efficient, by planning, by organizing. And all I actually ended up doing was stressing myself out so much that I ended up basically burning out my adrenal glands. So there's ways in which we can do this. It is not about cramming more things into our 24 hours. We only have 24 hours and we don't have 48 hours and 24 hours. So we need to come up with a different way to manage this. So there's a number of skills involved in managing time. So the first thing we need to do when you're feeling overwhelmed or when you want to add something new to your time, like weight loss and start a new regime, then you need to first of all stop. Take a moment and learn to disengage and slow down. When we actually do this, we're slowing down internally, and this will give us more time, and we're able more time subjectively, because a lot of times are subjective. So when we're busy and we have a lot to do, we tend to speed up. Everything is speeded up, and we don't have that much higher brain function in order to be able to make some very informed, rational decisions. So slowing down is your number one priority in managing time. And we can do this by just taking some time out, doing some slow breathing to really find our footing and to get centered. And then we can move from this place. When we're slowed down, it's going to be easier. So the second thing we need to do after we've slowed down is we need to do a brain dump of all the things that are going on in our mind. Many of the times we feel like there's so much going on inside and it's just going around inside of our head. We can't think straight. So getting it all down on paper is one way to get it out of your body and get it and so that you can see what's going on. It's going to help with your calming the stress response down. And as I've said in other videos, too much stress is not good for weight loss. We create cortisol in our body, and cortisol helps to store fat into our belly region. So once you've done your brain dump and got everything down there, you need to take a look at it and really decide what is important to you. This is about prioritizing and about prioritizing from your values. What is of value to you? What is most important to you right now? And the best way to get perspective on all the things that you feel you need to do is to think about, if I was going to die tomorrow, if I was going to die next week, how much of this is truly important? And for some people, it might be difficult to do this because we think everything is important. But the reality is, it is not. I really learned this the hard way several years ago, about 5 years ago, when, as I said, I burnt my adrenals out and I didn't have any energy to do almost anything. I was forced to prioritize about what is important. With my limited energy that I had to decide what was important. And it's the same with time. What is important that you are willing to give yourself time for? So once you prioritize, the next thing to do is to start planning. By planning things, we're not kind of running around with like our head chopped off like a little chicken and then getting very inefficient. So what I mean by planning is that one of the first things that's going to help is menu planning. Planning your menu for the week. And there's different ways you can do this. There's plenty of apps out there. I use Plan to Eat, and you can find out a bit more about it on my website if you're interested. There is also a way you can do planning by deciding Mondays is Mexican night, Tuesdays is Italian night, Wednesdays is fish night, and that's a way to make things easier. And once you've got your plan in place, coming up with a shopping list for the week so you don't have to keep going to the shops. That will really reduce a lot of internal stress and a sense of feeling strapped for time. The other thing that's important is to always have healthy snacks in the house and healthy staples in the house. So when you are busy or you don't have time to cook, you can always go to your staples to create very simple meals. Having a few extra frozen meals for those unplanned busy times can be helpful when you're tired or either something comes up. Using crock pots, the one pot meals, makes things a lot faster as well. Having frozen veggies or pre-prepared veggies that you've either prepared yourself and put in the freezer or the fridge, or you can buy plenty of pre-prepared vegetables that can help. So the other thing too you can do is whenever you cook, make sure you make some extras. So the extra that you have, you can freeze it, so you've always got extra meals in the freezer. You can also make double the amount of, say, some rice or the chicken in the meal and use that for another meal the next day or the day after. That will save a lot of time. So in summary, this is what you need to do when you're feeling really strapped for time is, first of all, you stop. Take some time out, calm yourself down, and then decide on what is important to you. Prioritize based on your values, what's truly important to you. And sometimes prioritizing might involve setting boundaries and learning to be assertive and saying no to people if this is not important to you. And then lastly, planning. Having a good plan in place. This will allow you to really be able to find the time to do what it is you need to do. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this today, make sure you click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and if you want to find out a little bit more about my approach, go to www.resetmyweight.com, and there's plenty of resources there for you.